So an immediate pause then that impacts hundreds of millions of dollars of weaponry for Ukraine. A White House spokesman saying the president has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. Donald Trump himself saying he will not put up much longer with Volodymyr Zelensky's defiance and that Zelensky won't be around very long without a ceasefire deal. Democrats condemning the pause, though, as dangerous and illegal. Well, earlier, the US vice president laid out the White House position.
I really don't care what President Zelensky says about me or anybody else, but he showed a clear unwillingness to engage in the peace process that President Trump has said is the policy of the American people and of their president. That's the real breakdown. Is I think Zelensky wasn't yet there, and I think frankly now still isn't there, but I think he'll get there eventually. He has to. This is not going to make anybody happy. The Russians are going to have to give up stuff. The Ukrainians are going to have to give up stuff. You can't come to the Oval Office and say, give us security guarantees. We won't even engage with you about what we're willing to give up. That's been the Ukrainian posture. When that posture changes, as President Trump said, when they're willing to talk peace, I think President Trump will be the first person to pick up the phone.
A little earlier, I spoke to Emmanuel Shaz, our correspondent in Kyiv, and she told us what that decision will mean for those fighting on the front line.
Soldiers on the front line, I could talk to them yesterday in the northeastern direction of Kupiansk and also in the southern part of the country in Zaporizhia. They were telling me that they were really shocked at the U-turn in U.S. politics when it comes to Ukraine. For them, this shows that Washington really aligns itself with the Kremlin. Actually, the Kremlin said so as a comment to this latest announced by Donald Trump. For soldiers concretely on the front line, that would mean shortage of rockets for those who were supplied by U.S. weapons. However, this is not going to mean that the fighting will stop. You know, Ukrainian soldiers have been fighting not just since 2022, but since 2014. And more often than not, they were fighting without U.S. military equipment. Will that hinder them? Of course, it will make a difference. And we can fear here in Ukraine that is going to lead to more loss of life. You will see behind me in the background, I'm here on Maidan, on the Square of Independence here in central Kyiv, and behind me you can see a sea of flags, each of them representing one of the thousands of Ukrainian soldiers who already lost their lives in this war. However, you know, no matter what support comes or doesn't come from Washington, this front line will still be defended by Ukrainian soldiers. They will not stop the fighting, but it will be much more difficult now. Also, in terms of intelligence, if they see their access to Starlink satellite systems cut off, Starlinks which belongs to Elon Musk, this will be much more difficult for each unit to communicate between themselves, to communicate also with higher command. So it will just make life of soldiers here in Ukraine much more difficult on the front line.